Where is the light? 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 Oh, the light's inside of me. Where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me. Where is the light? 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 Oh, the light's inside of me. Where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me. I'm gonna let it shine, this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine, this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Let it shine.
Woo! Oh. Good morning. Happy and blessed winter solstice. Today we mark the official beginning of winter with the shortest day and the longest night of the year.
And the longest service.
You only have to be here once, Christy. This is my second round. And I got one more tonight, so. With a very sliver of a waxing moon keeping the sky dark, tonight's Ursid meteor shower, which is the last meteor shower of the year, will peak around midnight. It's probably not going to be something we can see, but whether or not the sky is clear for us, it is still happening. And that's kind of a metaphor, right? Where is the light? My name is Beth Karow, and I am happy to be serving as your worship associate for this morning's service at the Unitarian Universalist Community of the Mountains here in Grass Valley, California. Whether you are experiencing this service at a later date on YouTube or right now on Zoom hosted by Eileen Hale, or are right here, right now in the room, the Reverend Kevin Tarsa and I welcome you, along with our intrepid AV team and the musical talents of Heather Grove and Christy and Delaney Scher. As we take our very intentional pause in this week to be together, to worship together in this way, in this moment, I invite you to unclench whatever tightness you feel, set down whatever worries you carry, and at least for these next moments, choose hope. Knowing that even in darkness, like tonight's sky, even though we might not see it and maybe can't even feel it, it is there. Hope is there. Hope is here. The light returns. It is good to be together. Welcome.
For our lighting of the chalice this morning, we offer the words and the wisdom of Ariel Hunt Brandwin. Flaming chalice, symbol of our living tradition, we kindle you for light.
Light in this darkest season of the year. Light to reveal the sources of greed and hate among us. Light to guide our way forward together.
Chalice flame, we kindle you for love.
Love to keep our hands and hearts warm in the wintry cold. Love to comfort us as our hearts break for the pain of the world. Love to bring us into community so we may grow stronger together.
Flaming chalice, we kindle you for hope.
Hope that the sun will shine again. Hope that one day soon peace will prevail. Hope that we may build the beloved community together.
For light, love, and hope, we kindle our flame.
We acknowledge that we gather and live on Nisenan land that was never ceded, never given up. The Nisenan people are still with us today, though nearly invisible after decades of systemic erasure and exclusion and genocide. On our altar, we place a basket of acorns from the black oak tree, one of the many kin spirits sacred to the original inhabitants of this land, as a symbol of UUCM's ongoing support of their efforts to stabilize their people, restore tribal sovereignty, and reclaim more and more of their rich cultural heritage under their guidance and at their request. Kevin, look what I found.
What is it?
I don't know. I wonder.
It's a small box.
It is.
It's a small box. Should we look?
Yeah, let's look. Okay.
Oh, what do you see?
I see a star, a shiny, sparkly star.
Very homemade looking star. I wonder what's going to happen with this during Kids Connection. And I wonder if there's a young person who would like to carry this not very heavy box up to Kids Connection as we sing you on your way with this little light of mine, and we send a piece of the light. Is there any young person who'd like to carry the box up? Our very special young person.
Little Lindsay. Little Lindsay.
So we will take our ancient solstice devices and let them be quiet and still for an hour. Yeah. Now's your chance to check, double check. Thank you. And you get to see each other across the circle this morning. We haven't been able to do this for a while because we couldn't fit enough people in to be able to do this circle. So in a moment, we're going to take a minute to greet the people around us, to say hello and welcome. But I invite you first to look around the circle, across the circle maybe from you. And who else is in the room with you on this solstice morning? And I invite you to take a meaningful and warm and gentle chance to say hello to people, making sure that everyone is greeted well And to the best of your ability to try to greet someone in the way you think they actually might want to be greeted this morning by all the clues that you're getting. I invite you to say hello to the people around you. On Zoom too. Round and round the earth is turning, turning always round to morning, and from morning round to night. Round and round the earth is turning, turning always round to morning, and from morning round to night. Round and round the earth is turning, turning always round to morning, and from morning round to night. Round and round the earth is turning, turning always round to morning, and from morning round to night. Round and round the earth is turning, turning always round to morning, and from morning round to night. Round and round the earth is turning, turning always round to morning, and from morning round to
In the pagan tradition, which is grounded in a respect and reverence for the natural world, calling upon the four directions is the usual way to begin any ceremony. Each direction is associated with an element of the natural world and represents some part of our human nature as well. The directions are not seen as separate and isolated, but rather as a part of the independent system that makes up the world. Here on our altar, we have the symbolic elements for each direction, and we will travel through the meanings associated with each direction, singing a verse between each one, and then entering into a time of meditation. Round and round the earth is turning, turning always round to morning, and from morning round to night. We begin in the east, towards the rising sun. The element of the east is air, represented on our altar by feathers and incense. Although we won't ignite it now, the smoke of incense serves to give form to the otherwise unseeable air, and it can carry our prayers on the wind. Air is breath, and air gives us life. East is the direction of inspiration, the word that literally means to take in air. The East is associated with the mind, with knowledge and learning and intellectual curiosity. Imagine birds flying, turning and wheeling in the air. Imagine the breeze blowing through your hair. Turning toward the east, we look for a fresh start, an invigorating breath, a new idea. When you are feeling stuck in a rut, beholden to a routine, need a new beginning, or if the wind has gone out of your sails, look eastward. Round and round the earth is turning, turning always round to morning, and from morning round to night. We move around the wheel to the south. The element of the south is fire, and in the southern place on our altar, the flame of our chalice burns bright. Fire is a transformational force. It's heat and it's light. It is passion and powerful change. In the northern hemisphere, it makes sense that we associate the south toward the equator with the warmth of the sun and the heat of the flame. We see birds move south, butterflies move south, whales move south, seeking warmer places when the weather gets cold. When our internal weather gets cold, turning south is a metaphor for turning towards warmth and daylight, seeking out the changes that will warm us up, get our blood moving, call us out of our winters, out of hibernation, into transformative action. Round and round the earth is turning, turning always round to morning, and from morning into night. And continuing around the circle, we arrive in the west. The element associated with the west is water. Here on our altar, water fills the bowl that we will use later on in our weekly ritual of joys and sorrows. The water dissolves, cleanses, purifies. To our bowl, Kevin is adding some of the water collected at our ingathering services each September. We add to this water year after year, symbolizing the way we come together in our community as individual drops join into a mighty river. In the West, we are drawn into the experience of our emotions. It's a direction that calls us to self-reflecting and self-understanding. Our emotions move in us like water, flowing through our lives, sometimes calm and sometimes turbulent, but always, always flowing. When we dam up our feelings, just like when we dam up a river, the pressure builds until it finds an outlet. If you are seeking to get in touch with your inner life, with your emotions, with flow, turn towards the west. Round and round the earth is turning, turning always round to morning, and from morning round to night. We move now to the north. The element of the north is earth, represented here by some dirt from our very own garden, mingled with soil from the land of our new church home on Squirrel Creek. There is stability here in the earth, the ground, and the grounding of our being. The north represents the place that holds us, that allows us time and space to heal and to grow, to feel nurtured and respected. It is also the place of embodiment, of connecting with our physical self, with the concrete, tangible world around us. The north calls to you if you are seeking balance, the deep wisdom that lives in your bones, a place of rest and recovery.
Round and round the earth is turning, turning always round to morning, and from morning round to night. Round and round the earth is turning, turning always round to morning, and from morning round to night. Round and round the earth is turning, turning always round to morning, and from morning round to night. Round and round the earth is turning, turning always round to morning, and from morning round.
Beth has moved us beautifully through these 4 directions, giving each one shape and meaning. In a moment, I'm going to invite you to turn in some way toward the direction that calls to you today. You may choose just to stay exactly as you are in your seat. You may choose to stand and turn. You may simply turn your head or your entire body. You may simply turn your attention. I invite you to orient yourself in a way that feels right to you toward one of the directions, toward the element that speaks to you right now this morning, that speaks to your life right now. And then when I ring the meditation bell, we'll enter into a couple minutes of silent attention and meditation. So a reminder, east, the direction of air, breath, inspiration. South, the direction of fire, transformation, and action. West, the direction of water, feeling, and reflection. North, the direction of earth, balance, stability, wisdom. Breath and inspiration, transformation and action, feeling and reflection, balance and wisdom. To which direction are you drawn intuitively this morning? Which one pulls at you? I invite you to orient yourself in toward the direction that speaks to you. And I invite you into the silence with your own reflective thoughtfulness and feeling.
Today, here in the Northern Hemisphere, it is the winter solstice. It's the time where we receive the least amount of daylight all year. The gradual lessening of light and increasing of darkness that began with the summer solstice ended today at 3 minutes after 7 this morning, local time. Even though technically tomorrow will be a little less dark, it's hard to notice the change until sometime nearer the 2nd of February, a day known to pagans as a cross-quarter day, which is halfway between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. Equinox meaning equal, when we have a balance between daylight and darkness. It makes sense that we need this darkness as a time for reflection, for introspection, for rest, slowing down, getting cozy, hibernating. After all, this is the dark time. And yet, throughout time and all around the world, winter solstice is traditionally marked as a time for celebrations. Light, both the lack of and the hope for, is the central theme that runs throughout. So we light up the night. Earlier with bonfires and candles, now with twinkling LED strings wrapped around everything and hung everywhere. We schedule holiday parties, gift exchanges, pageants, potlucks, bake sales, recitals, street fairs, and all sorts of social events, almost as if in defiance of the pull of darkness. It's no wonder to me that so many people report feeling extra sad during this time of year. I have to think that it's not just the lack of the warmth of sunlight driving this despair, or maybe the feeling of misalignment because every sound system seems to be looping between songs of unrestrained consumerism and declarations of it's the most wonderful time of the year. We sing along even as we question the truth of that for us. Maybe it's the struggle to find a balance between the urge to hunker down in the dark and the call to light up the night. Rest, restore, reflect, or shop, celebrate, shine. What if you feel both? That you want to do it all, have it all, make, bake, decorate, and hibernate, digest, turn off, tune in, and shut down. It's almost as if the extremes of the solstice time, the long dark and the short light, are reflected in this polarity of expansiveness and contraction. Nature reminds us with her bare trees, fallow fields, frozen streams, and burrowed bunnies that this is a period of descent and rest, a time to reflect on all that has passed in this full year, which is coming now to a close. And what a year it has been. We need this rest. Our tired limbs and our overburdened minds long to embrace the darkness, to spiral inwards and allow the darkness to embrace us back. We know that the light will return, and the days from this day forward will be lengthening. We can trust the turn of the planet and the fiery brightness of our sun. So too, maybe we can allow ourselves to turn our thoughts to the darkness and embrace the opportunity to rest in the dark, to be okay with the dark. There is love in the dark. Yes, the light is returning, but the dark is here now, too. And there is so much beauty and hope in it when we spiral in, consciously deepening, resting, reflecting, and simply being. So may we be.
I was planted in the darkness. 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 I feel the dark. It brings me life. I feel the dark. It brings me planted in the darkness. I was planted in the darkness. I was planted in the darkness. I was planted in the darkness. I feel the dark. It brings me life. I feel the dark. It brings me life. I was planted in the darkness. 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 I feel the dark. It brings me life. I feel the dark. It brings me life. I was planted in the darkness. 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 I feel the dark. It brings me life. I feel the dark. It brings me life. I was planted in the darkness. 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 I feel the dark. It brings me life. I feel the dark. It brings me life. I was planted in the darkness. planted in the darkness. I was planted in the darkness. I was planted in the darkness. I feel the dark. It brings me life. I feel the dark. It brings me life. I was planted in the darkness. 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 I feel the dark. It brings me life. I feel the dark. It brings me life. I can grow in the darkness. 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 I feel the dark. It brings me life. I feel the dark. It brings me life. I can grow in the darkness. 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 I feel the dark. It brings me life. I feel the dark. It brings me life. I can grow in the darkness. 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 I feel the dark. It brings me life. I feel the dark. It brings me life. I was planted in the darkness. 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 I feel the dark. It brings me life. I feel the dark. It brings me life.
A Blessing for Traveling in the Dark by Jan Richardson. Go slow if you can. Slower. More slowly still. Friendly dark or fearsome. This is no place to break your neck by rushing, by running, by crashing into what you cannot see. Then again, it is true. Different darks have different tasks. And if you have arrived here unawares, if you've come in peril or in pain, this might be no place you should dawdle. I do not know what these shadows ask of you, what they might hold that means you good or ill. It is not for me to reckon whether you should linger or you should leave. But this is what I can ask for you, that in the darkness there be a blessing, that in the shadows there be a welcome, that in the night you be encompassed by the love that knows your name.
I invite you to hum first and to rise in body or in spirit. Dark of winter, soft and still, your quiet calm surrounds me. Let my thoughts go where they will, ease my mind profoundly, and then my soul will sing a song, a blessed song of love eternal. Gentle darkness, soft and still, let your peace reign to me. Darkness, soothe my weary eyes, that I may see more clearly. When my heart with sorrow cries, comfort and caress me. And then my soul may hear a voice, a still small voice of love eternal. Darkness, when my fears arise, let your peace flow through me. For those who are here for the first time, we have a weekly ritual of recognizing and honoring all the feelings that we're holding with us on this particular day. So the feelings that come with elation and happy expectation, and also the feelings that come with much more challenge or much more hurt, the pains, the worries, the sorrows that we hold. We typically, akin to lighting vigil candles, we take a stone from the table, if you're here in the room, and place it in the bowl of water. The stone, a tangible representation of everything that you're holding, all the feelings that you're holding and the reasons you're holding them. And the chance to release them into the bowl of water, this symbol of all the ways that you are held, even in the midst of all that you hold. This morning, there are stones all around the table. And I'm going to invite you to come in and to take a stone, but also to circle the table before you let go of that stone. That's your chance to infuse that with your own prayer, your own thoughtfulness as you're moving around the table so you can release it. Which means that this will be a traffic circle of sorts. People will be entering and leaving, and you'll kind of leave some spaciousness for that circle to be moving, so there's space for people to come in. And you may end up taking an exit that's different than the exit you came in on, just to know. But I invite you to take stock for a moment. Just recognize what is in you this morning. What is very much present in your thoughts, your heart, your mind, as you sit here this morning together. For those who are in the room, I invite you gently into the traffic circle. And those on Zoom, I invite you into your own traffic circle of the chat, where you get to name a piece of what you're carrying, or to place a round symbol, a 0 or an O, which is the equivalent of placing a stone. I invite us to hold each other gently as we do. The words and wisdom of Mark Stringer to accompany us. As the year winds down to its close and we are submerged once again in the seasonal darkness we have come to know so well, we have reason to think back on the year that was, if only because it will soon be gone. We think back to the friends we have made, the sorrow we have endured, the love we have found, the loneliness we have survived. We think back to the blessings of being forgiven and the gift we offered to ourselves when we forgave. We think back to those who listened to us in our times of need and the times we could have listened more. We think back to the things we traded for our time and to what we may have overlooked in the process. We think back to the times when we were afraid and uncertain, and we trudged ahead anyway. And the times when we were compassionate, when we could have been cold. In this season of still growing light, may we see more clearly against the dark backdrop of our living. The true light of our lives, the love we give to others, and the peace we nurture in ourselves. Round and round the earth is turning, turning always round to morning, and from morning round to night. Round and round the earth is turning, turning always round to morning, and from morning round to night. Round and round the earth is turning, turning always round to morning, and from morning round to night.
Ours is a compassionate, caring community. We support each other in so many important ways, not the least of which is financial. Without funding from an outside entity, we are free to make all of our own decisions. We are an entirely self-supported church, and the extent of our abilities to fulfill our mission, both here in our church home and within the larger community, is wholly dependent on the generosity of our members and friends. Each week, everything that is placed in our offering baskets is shared equally with a community partner whose mission and values reflect our own. This month's recipient is Hospitality House, a beloved organization that provides pathways to permanent housing by compassionately bringing homeless people in Nevada County into a circle of community caring that offers shelter, housing resources, sustenance, opportunity, dignity, and hope. As the greeters come forward to receive your generous offerings, the slide will show other ways to give. Thank you. Thank you for your compassionate giving. We dedicate these offerings to the renewal of hope, the warmth of shelter, and the return of the light. Thank you.
In chronological order, I'd like to thank a very specific tree frog this morning. So there's a tree frog in our neighborhood, and it seems to be singular. There's no one answering it back. Sometimes it hangs out in a tree in my yard. Sometimes it's in the neighbor's yard. Sometimes it's across the street. So I heard it early this morning, really strongly. It's like, oh, it must be just me on the deck, right outside the door. And then I realized it was in the garage. And this was right at 7:03 this morning, the time of the solstice. And I didn't pick up on the cue till later. But here's to thank that tree frog for trying to announce the solstice to me this morning. Special thanks to Beth, Karow, for designing, crafting a service so beautifully and leading it and holding us beautifully, and for a tremendous altar, always, with so much meaning and beauty in it. Always, thank you. Yeah. Heather and Christine Delaney, thank you very much for the music this morning. Yeah. And as the holidays get busy, I think it's even extra gratitude for our people who come early, the AV folks, Andy and Cypress this morning, to our greeters, Osley and Jean, I see, to the people who came and set up and worked with the food and who will clean up, all who make a Sunday morning happen. And please thank Lindsay Dunkel or Keith when you see them for being with our youngest ones for Kids Connection. As always, I invite you, for anything you've seen or know that someone does or is doing or has done, to find them after the service and take a moment to offer very specific gratitude. Thank you. That's coming up. Yeah. Announcements are next. Yes. The Holiday Bazaar is happening. The physical items are half off today. Special. They were already not expensive, right? A special deal. And plus today's the bake sale, not half off, right? Well, me, yeah. That's his man. So come get some goodies for the holidays down the hall at the room at the end. Winter solstice celebration tonight, where we actually really dive into the solstice celebration. Christmas Eve, we'll have a 5 o'clock service of carols and words. And at 8 o'clock, a more meditative singing meditation service, which involves more silence and shared chanting, lengthy chanting. And on Christmas Day, we'll have a potluck at 2 o'clock for anyone who wants to join in. And if you're planning to come and can come a little early for setup, that is very helpful. So please let us know and join in with that. As always, check out the ever-changing list of possibilities on the website to see what's happening. And read those newsletters, too. We're going to close by making a bridge of sorts. So here's this song so very clearly anchored in the traditions that predate Christianity, right? The earth rhythms that just inspire one to reflect on life in specific ways. So Deck the Hall is about that, bringing that greenery, that symbol of everlasting life, that greenness, into the building. And it's also become now, of course, a very traditional Christmas song. So we're going to bridge both solstice and Christmas in the singing of our closing song. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit and to sing. And if you don't see or know any of the other words, fa la 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 la. We'll keep coming around.
Once again from Jan Richardson, words to bless us on our way. This is what I can ask for you, that in the darkness there be a blessing, that in the shadows there be a welcome, that in the night you be encompassed by the love that knows your name. And though we now extinguish our chalice light, we know that we will, together, carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again. Refreshments and bake sale in the back. Everyone, will see you tonight, hopefully for the solstice celebration and or Christmas Eve and or next Sunday to look back and forward in time on Cider Sunday.